iRacing, and it's the drag race between Daniel Santos and George Krause as they head up through to one. Right-hander, you see Oleg in the background looking for a potential chance to snipe off P1, backing off and in through the first braking zone. The Lexus tries to cover up. Nixon goes wide off circuit, has to let go of the position, and the advantage gets back through a little bit of teleporting going on in the back, but it is Krause with the lead. Santos down the second, Oleg in third, Steinberg fourth place. Side-by-side teammates Lacey and Eamon going through. Right-hander. And now we enter into the Mulsanne. Long straight here. And the drivers have a long race to go here today. Steinberg chasing down Lacey for sixth. Through to the left, Huber is not that far behind. He's right there. He'll take the pickings if he can. Through the right-hander. And now on to the straight here. You were a little bit wide on the corner there, watching out just a bit. Meanwhile, up at the front, Krause starting to feel the slipstream just that bit. But take a look at how Eamon has progressed from that qualifying ban all the way up to third position. Huber now bump drafting, it looked like. They're watching out Evan Steinberg. And now side-by-side for position, and Steinberg still ahead. Huber having to cut the corner to avoid action. Potentially more contact between them. Krause, he made contact, I believe, did he? No, it was Huber and Evan Steinberg. So yeah, that is confirmation. We'll check out them. There they are. Down the second straight, heading to the last chicane before the Mulsanne. 3/10 the difference here. Now 2/10. Is there a move? A lineup up the inside? Yes, there is. That's a really big dive there. Contact made between them. It was a late decision to take the move up the inside. Lacey was debating if it's worth it. Went for it anyways. The move is done. Evan had to see it coming. He did. Had to pull off the way, or else it would have been a big crash between them. Wise move. Now he's coming back through. This is why he's the championship leader in the silver category. This is what we are talking about here. Side by side into the Mulsanne. Right-hander. And Steinberg able to keep ahead, but Lacey pulls up, and the sun is going to be glaring now, blinding these drivers. The sun is set, I agree. And that is the worst part to see it there as they head to Indianapolis. 6/10 for the leaders. And Lacey comes up the inside. This is Eamon Esmeer's teammate who is fighting for the lead. Now inside, Lacey loses the rear end. Can she save it? What a slide there. I don't know if she pumped the e-brakes there for the moment, but it was a great recovery to not send that one in the wall. And the Italian of Eamon Esmeer couldn't qualify for this race because of a qualifying ban, but it looks like it doesn't matter because he is now on the cusp of leading at Le Mans. Pulls to the outside. Daniel is a sitting duck. They head to the first braking zone. It's going to be side by side, battling for the lead. Eamon up the inside. There's a little clip of the curb. He'll take the lead, but Daniel Santos is right on the rear and will want to get that one back. Santos slipstream, nose to tail to the inside now. Side by side, BMW at war here in France, here at Le Mans. They battle for victory here. It's still a long way to go, but you want to be able to be on top by the end of it, and it all happens with these moments. Into the next chicane. Left, right-hander, it's Santos who takes back the lead, but not the best of exits because now Eamon is back on him. Both of them fighting with all their might. Now Eamon Esmeer, is this the climax of their rivalry? Right here at Le Mans, side by side, they head to the Mulsanne. Santos has the inside. Eamon will be thinking about the over-under unless he can clear him. An outside mover on the hairpin. He's very talented and he could get it done. Cannot do it. Santos, brilliant cover. Santos has the advantage up the inside. Eamon has the lead momentarily. They turn in. Very close. Right-hander. Looks like Eamon was squeezed off there. I think he has to give the position back. But they are really fighting hard between each other. Doesn't look like it. Now, I didn't get the best of angles. They're probably going to sort it out between each other. They do so. Looks like maybe Santos might take it back. But it still looks like a drag race to me. Santos back ahead. Through to the hairpin now. It's pitch dark here. It's the midnight hours here at Le Mans. Right-hander for him. Look how close that was. That was no contact from our side. We did not get a report that was contact. Not even a paperclip could separate the two. Now onto the outside for Asseir. It is still fighting for the lead. Here comes Kraus now, nonetheless, because he hasn't had the best of exits. It's going to be 3 wide as they head over through to turn 1. Side by side, Nixon in the middle, and through goes Huber up the inside to go through. Nixon will be able to climb back over and still hold on to 4th. Kraus still in 6th. This battle continues. Gap for the lead, under 2 seconds, and Oleg's gap is increasing, ladies and gentlemen. "21 minutes left to go." What a fight. 3 wide here at Le Mans, and we have 21 minutes to go to seal it, to end it here. And here comes that Lexus to the inside. I am loving Kraus's racecraft here today. I'm absolutely loving it. And here comes that Porsche. Was it up the inside? No. So Kraus to 5th. Now he's fighting for 2nd place in the silver category. How close this is. Here comes Eamon. Back up the inside. Gap for Oleg. 6 seconds. Oleg might cook here. He's in sight. He is in sight. That's true. Swiping the inside here. Eamon was trying to. Could not get it done. Over under for Asseir. Has the wide run outside. Wheel to wheel. Left-hander. Porsche curves complete. Through the right. They set themselves up for the Ford chicane coming up next. And the gap is 5.8. Can Oleg pull off a huge, huge moment here to fight for this win? He's got to hope that these guys continue to fight. But the aggression is through the roof between the two of them. He could get what he wishes for. Just needs to stay consistent and be faster than where he already is. Santos goes deep. He goes wide. He loses out the race lead. Eamon Asseir takes it. But for this man here, Eamon Asseir did everything right. And he has had a great run to the very end. A battle with his championship rival now puts him 1 point behind. Eamon Asseir wins at Le Mans. It goes to him. What a performance. What a drive. Santos will finish in P2. Oleg, so close, yet so far, will round it out to 3rd position. He'll take it. A big P3 for him. Top 4. That's a story. And that's your championship heading to Spa. The points are so close between Eamon Asseir and Daniel Santos.
It's been humming for a while, but I push it back into my mind. There's a darkness in my head, try to shake it, but it has its time. 'Cause I know
2026, we're gonna start it off with a bang because it's 5 lights and we go racing in Dubai. It's Peter with a fantastic start. He's out of there to take P1 in this one. He'll go to the outside. Van Dorn might make contact with Peter Sabot. They're all kind of shuffling up. Santos is the inside of Eamon Asseir. He'll have a run down on Mike Van Dorn. It's contact. Peter runs up by himself. Maximilian is off. Santos takes the lead in the Grand Prix. Here comes the championship leader, Eamon Asseir, as he chases down. He'll make it 3 wide on the high back to Daytona. Is there a chance on the inside? Eamon He's gonna dive it down. Max is gonna push him with all his might. Eamon, does he pull it off? Side by side, gives him a taste of his own medicine. Through the top four, get away well. It's gonna be 3 wides and into 1. Sabol goes very deep, but following behind, it's gonna be Chris Ramau who's gonna send it down the inside as he enter the mountain. Does he? He's gonna back out that time by. As Ramau trying to get a run on Maximilian Fleer, he does so around the outside. He can't get it done, but no, Max will go down the inside. Eamon Esmir will also go down the inside of Daniel Santos, going deep at the second part of the education game. It is time for the finale. It's 1 to go. It's 1 race left in the championship for the Endurance Cup. Welcome to Belgium. It's the Spa-24 Virtual. 23 drivers in the session. 22 will be racing with our 23rd as the safety car. We're getting ready for the big one here. 1 minute and 50 left to go. We don't have much time to get this started. Let's look at the grid. Daniel Santos on pole, followed by Eamon Esmir. Championship rivals, Kraus, followed by Costa, Ahmed, Sanson, Taziaki, Fleer, Fansher, Neon, Roll, Ravaz. We have Layla, Ilham, Claudio, Felix in his debut race, Eli in his debut of the Endurance Cup, Danny Nasseir, Pedro, Geraldo, Quen in his debut, Mark Crawford, Marcos, Ramos to round out the grid. Let's talk about our championship rivals, because this one is going to be big. And we're getting ready for the championship fight. There are 4 championships to look out for here today. Let's kick it off with the silver category. It's going to be the battle between P1 and P7 for the championship. Evan Steinberg versus Kasper Teshiaki, Oleg Sensen, Nixon Roll, Lacey Fancher, Leila Petragula, and Ilham Lesmana. They're all going to be fighting for the championship there. Potentially Evan Steinberg not here for the start of this one, so it blows the title fight wide open. From there, it's Tiago versus Danny. Daniel versus Eamon in gold. And the overall, Nanoshift versus Spirit. Best of luck, drivers. 10 seconds. We're going to be staying on the grid from this point on. I'll be quiet during the actual rolling start here. Safety car, we're going to have you pull around as safe as possible. Let's try to maybe do it on the outside of the track. So all drivers stay in their grid formation. That's tight. That's very tight. You know what? Fair enough. All right, once the safety car has gone through, yep, you can now go through. So 2x2 formation, 80 kilometers. And yeah, you guys were meant to hear me from that point on. So from this point, it's 80 kilometers. However, you can give yourself a bit of space between each other. Once we get to the back straight, that is your best chance to pack with each other. I'll give you guys some quiet space now. Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. It is time for the finale of the CMRSC GT Endurance Cup powered by ACF. We are live here at Belgium. It's one race to do it. There are many championships to look out for. Daniel versus Eamon. The top 7 in the silver class going for the title. Tiago versus Danny Nasseir for the bronze category. And in the team standings overall, Nanoshift versus Spirit Racing Energy. It's time to get going for the final round before it's time for the playoffs. Let's do this. Let's talk about it. Daniel Santos, Eamon Nasseir, the stars of this championship, the stars of today's show. They won't be the only championship fight we look at, but you look last weekend at Le Mans. What a fight. And titanic duel between these two. Eamon Nasseir, victory on that last day. He's playing mind games from the start of it. He's decided to swap out his gray-looking livery to go for an identical black to match with Daniel Santos. Probably a symbolic moment here, as both drivers have raced on the same team together at one stage. We'll see how that one works out. We look down into the silver category. That's where things get spicy. Evan Steinberg, unable to make the start. He leads the championship by 52 points. Behind him, Kasper Teshiaki, Oleg Sensen, Nixon Roll, Lacey Fancher, Leila Petragula, and Ilham Lesmana. Top 7 fighting for P1 in the silver category. The winner of the silver championship will go on to the playoffs, the special playoff spot belonging to that winner of the championship. Into the bronze class, it's a one-on-one duel between Danny Nasseir with these 61 points, followed by Tiago Ravaz, who's missed the last race. He's sitting at 40. It's eerie of what we had last saw between Eamon Nasseir and Daniel Santos, with one of the biggest championship gaps at interlockers for the GT World Challenge. And speaking of them, the last fight between them goes down in the team standings. Nanoshift sitting at 108 points, belonging to Daniel Santos and Peter Sabot. With Sabot not here, it's all about Daniel to perform well. But Eamon Nasseir, teammates with Lacey Fancher, they have company together. This race is the most important one of the year. Race of Champions is no more. The playoffs will come soon, but as it stands, this one is very important. It's for all the marbles. It is such an important one. We're going to get this one started soon. Safety car, you can head into the pits now. Safety car, you can go full speed and head into the pits now. Thank you for that, and we hope we may or may not see you soon. All right, drivers, this is your last chance to catch up and stay close to the car behind. Once that red light comes on, it's maximum 80. You cannot exceed it once we get to 80 kilometers. I wish everyone the best of luck in this race. Here we go. I'm loving it. Chat's loving it. Crowd's loving it. It's the finale of the GT Endurance Cup. A championship fight that'll go to the end. We wait for the red light. What a fight it has been all year long. It comes down to this moment right here, right now. It's time to go racing. Heading into La Source in turn 1, it's Santos in the lead with a spear on the outside. Kraus tried to look for a move up the inside, could not get it done. It's a lot cleaner than the last time we were here at Spa, and Santos will lead them off. It's a single file affair as they head up through Eau Rouge, through to Radion. And what a run Santos will need to escape, to get away. The fight between them is 1 point apart. Kraus leads it off in the silver category in 3rd position. And in the background, it's getting hectic. A lot of drivers, 2 by 2, side by side. It looks 3 wide for the moment there. And 3 wide indeed, and Maximilian's been tagged wide. I think that was potentially Tashiaki making contact there. That's 3 BMWs all out. An important point there. That was Fancher for the team championship, but here comes Asseir up to the lead of the Grand Prix, and he passes Daniel Santos. A crucial pass for the championship. Kraus holding on against Ahmed, who is also a gold driver, but here comes Santos through the left-hander of Pouan. It's so close between each other. Nose to tail. Wheel to wheel, he goes up to the inside of the chicane. Asseir leads him space. Santos runs deep, loses the lead. He doesn't lose out to 3rd place, though. Kraus stays behind. Early fight, early goings here. And Eamon Asseir winning out this war early on. Heading on the exit of Stavelot. It's a true single file affair as they now head around to the back straight. Maximilian very squirrely against Claudio Jr. But back up to the front. It's a long race, ladies and gentlemen. A very long race to go. As we head to the bus stop chicane for the first time in racing conditions. And we watch it from the bird's eye view from the top. Oleg goes a little bit deep there. And go! Casper diving it down deep. Championship implications between the two of them. And they might as well be fighting for the championship like they're 1st and 2nd. Keimani in the background as Oleg up the inside wants the lead and wants to get this championship going. He's in now P2, we believe. With Kraus in P1, that's a huge crucial point in this championship duel. With Kraus not in the points fight whatsoever. This is huge. And here comes Keimani to the outside in the Lexus. Side by side with the Mercedes. It's the worst thing Casper needs. But for Keimani, it's 4th position in his class. Looking to the rear cam, and Casper has to watch what he does here carefully. Going wide will go Keimani. And he will hold on to 7th overall. Now we're going to try our best to do our championship points throughout this race. But we're going to let this pack settle down. Maximilian, however, trouble for Felix. And he is in the gravel trap right in the background. You see him, he rejoins back on circuit right behind Fancher. Also going past their screens. No, not too sure why the livery is having trouble for her. And this one, as we now watch again in the Mercedes. This is your final race in the Endurance Cup. The final time we're going to see 90 minutes of racing in the category of GT3. But you want to stick with us for the long haul because the next 3 weeks is the finals, is the playoffs. The way that's going to work, you want to get into the top 10 overall in points. We'll talk about points later on. Let's talk about racing. And Keimani is starting to eke out. Nixon also in this championship fight. He has to get a move on as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Daniel Santos in a bit of heat right now because George Krause has an opportunity. Blanchimont looked like a favor for him to go around the outside. Could not do it. Could not find the space. The bus stop chicane looking spicy, and Santos has to resort to the defense against Krause. And you see, Krause is putting in some work. Now, if I was Santos, I don't even know what I do in this moment. I would want to defend, so I keep that championship rival ahead of me. But at the same time, Krause looks very quick. Last lap for them, 2:15, 3:45 for Krause. 2:24 for Daniel Santos. 2:15, 3:45 for Krause. 2:15.5 for Santos. 2:15.2 for Eamon Espeir. Right now, Eamon is looking for the back-to-back. And look at Nixon go, passing by Ilham as they get through the hill up, and Nixon is lagging. Now, we did see that back at Le Mans. Now, we do know that Nixon was able to get some sort of those issues sorted. We'll find out how much that really affects this race for the long haul as we continue this one. Eamon Espeir, though, pulls out that gap. 1.2. Safety cars can come out at any point in this race. It could be a huge moment here. And Mike Wynn calling out that he has missed the race. He's missed the race start, but he can still jump back in. He is signed up. He has applied for this race. Trouble for P5. And I think that might have been Gabriel Costa. He made contact on the outside wall of No Name, and look at the damage on the outside of that Lexus RCF. Now carrying a burden with him, with Oleg coming up in the background. And silver category in contention right here. Oleg to third. He's looking for second right now. Beautiful position to get past Gabriel Costa. And meanwhile, Krause once again in contention. Ahmed also looking to the fight. Last time we saw Ahmed, it was early on in this GT World Challenge. Let's go on board with the Lexus. It's trouble for Santos. The gap is 1.3. And Daniel, is he feeling the pressure? He was not in a championship fight. He has not been in a championship fight in GT3 since February, the end of February. We'll find out how that works. Trouble for the final corner. It's Danny Nasseir. I also saw Marcos, and he's back going. Now it's green flag there. Now Krause still looking for the move, and Santos now has two cars behind looking for position. Needs Eamon Espeir to make a mistake, but you know, we want to talk about mistakes. You want to talk about this championship as a whole. And Santos has been a guy who, admittedly, there has been more races that he has made mistakes than Eamon Espeir. So we'll see how this one plays out. It's an hour and 22 minutes left to go. It's a 24-hour cycle. And that is a jump start penalty that has now turned into a disqualification for Kuina. In his debut race, the South African has unfortunately having to pull to the pit, jump the start, and that's race over. And you can see already pulling to the side of the track. Game done. Game, set, match. And that is over for the Porsche driver. In a debut race like that, probably missed the cue there or saw the penalty, but wanted to get part of the racing. It's left him into doom. Meanwhile, this top four has basically checked out of this pack firmly away. Meanwhile, we look down to the rest of the field. Thiago Ravaz. Now, he has the bronze championship to face off against. However, he needs some bronze drivers between them. He's currently at the top of it. Eli Morales. Or Eli Morales, apologies there. Separating himself. Who is our next bronze driver? Pedro Geraldo, Mark Crawford, Felix Lau, Marcos Ramos, and there's Danny Nasseir. So that incident earlier, remember, where he was taken out, I don't know who it was. I don't know who took him out in that point. But one thing's for sure, Danny has lost out big time on this point swing. That is absolutely huge. Let's take a look at the title standings so far. That's your bronze. And 21 points is that gap. Huge, huge swing. Daniel Nasseir in big trouble in this championship. Back to this fight for P2. Kraus still leading us off here in the silver category, and he's quickly proving to ourselves why he needs the advancement ASAP. Looking to take down Daniel Santos. Up through Eau Rouge, through Radion. They have to watch out track limits as well, and George is very much under pressure with that Corvette coming up. And here comes that Corvette, in fact, the British driver. Ahmed now to the outside. Vet versus Lexus. Very tight. Side by side. Off circuit. Is that Corvette has to relinquish the inside move for the moment, but still stays firmly. And Santos has an issue. Santos makes a mistake, goes wide, and he saves it. However, it's huge. Huge trouble for the championship. He's down to 4th place. Went off all by himself. And it's more drama for him. What is going on with him? He slides the rear. And Daniel Santos is the title slipping away in this race. Is it a slow burner? Can Santos mustered up something? His championship rival leads this race in P1. It is a nightmare moment for Daniel Santos. The Portuguese driver now has 2 cars to overtake to get back to where he was. And we go up to this fight here, the fight for 2nd place in the silver category. And look how close it is with Keimani. And we also have Casper in this fight. Rounding through Stavelot as they head up the long straight to Blanchimont. And Keimani has a great run there. Looked like he almost dipped the tires in the gravel trap. But this is an excellent run. 4/10, however, behind, because I think Alex just has that stronger slipstream against Gabriel Costa, the Brazilian, in trouble in the other Lexus. Nose to tail, Oleg realizes how important this championship fight is. He takes it to the outside of the bus stop chicane. Very tight between the two. Can he find his way up the inside? It's a very clean run between the two. Gabriel Costa on the outside. Keimani now behind him. Could they make it 3 wide as they head over the start-finish line? And he will try to do so. The outside line will go to the Frenchman as they try to head into one. Source, though, will decide the factor, and Keimani will try to get the inside up on Oleg and sends it in big trouble here, but he'll try to close the gap, and he will do so as they head up the entry to Eau Rouge. What a fight between them, and Keimani will have a chance. Up through Eau Rouge, up through Radion. Oleg is getting very tired of being behind that Lexus. Wants to get past for 5th, and wants to get past for the championship. Keimani is just the man to put pressure on him, and the outside move firmly looks like it's possible for Oleg Sensen. They head up to the chicane, side by side. Wheel-to-wheel contact is made. Oleg, let him off the circuit. The curb unsettles him. Now the inside line as he goes against Gabriel Costa, beating and banging, and Oleg goes off circuit, drops down 2 spots. Now Costa in trouble. Keimani outside. Lexus against Lexus. Fighting through. Now they headed to No Name. Left-hander. And still, so close. The Frenchman doing a fantastic job. What a great fight this is for the silver category. We talked about cinema. This is what it's all about inside of Puan. Had the nose up the inside. Not possible for it. And now Keimani dips up. Couldn't find enough space. Casper also playing double duty, fighting Keimani, keeping Oleg behind, and Nixon looks to enter to this fight. This 4-car battle is absolutely spectacular. And they head through Campus and Stavelot. Tail between all of them. Meanwhile, you look at your gap for the overall championship. Daniel Santos not really making much effort. To the outside, here comes Keimani through the bus stop chicane. Cannot find any way to stop Gabriel Costa. The Brazilian continues to hold on, and Oleg has the run on Casper. He now sees Nixon roll also behind. It's such a shame that we have not seen Evan Steinberg in this one. Here comes the Mercedes up the inside. This could have been a real proper championship fight, but with him out of the picture, tunes it down to just what looks like a 6-car battle for the title fight. Maximilian getting past Lacey Fancher on your screen there for 13th position. On board with Oleg in the Porsche. Listen to that kettle scream. And Kaimani a little loose. The exit of Radion. Now on to the Kemmel Straight. Lake Home up next. This is where Oleg has his bread and butter, up the inside this time. And Oleg will run deep, very deep in fact. He'll get through. I think that might be reviewed by race control for that move there. It did not look like a proper overtake there. I think race control will give him the warning. Message to Oleg. If you believe that was an overtake off track, you're free to let go of the position. If you stay ahead now, you'll just be under review and you may receive a penalty if that was an illegal overtake off circuit. And that's the word there to Oleg. It looked like from our side that it was an overtake off circuit. Let him know now that if he thinks that's what it was, he can let it through and we'll find out closely. And he does let it through. And he tucks it up the inside. And Kaimani looked like maybe he tried to close the gap there. Oleg's let through. That's the risk he has to pay for because 2 cars have now got him and Nixon might make it 3. To the outside. Now as they head into Blanchimont, Nixon will have the inside run. It's contact! Oleg trouble, he hits the wall at Blanchimont. They were door to door. And it's caused him huge moments and damage there. Time is lost. Time is absolutely lost there in that moment. And Oleg's in trouble. Huge moment for his championship. He takes it to pit lane. What's the damage? Oh, he hits the wall. Take a look at your damage. It is huge red on the right-hand side of that Porsche. So he is your first driver to enter pit lane. Huge moment there for him. It is a nightmare. And his championship fight has to hold on for a bit as we are starting to head into the dusk out here in the evening. The sun has set. Santos having trouble over that curb. Didn't make the corner, saying chat. What we felt like was on him. If he wanted to stay out up in front, just would have been investigated. But he did let through the position, so he is fine. But now, sitting down in the rear of the field, it is trouble for him. Now, meanwhile, we continue back to the front of this race, and Santos trying to get back to the podium. He's got Ahmed up ahead in the Corvette. Remember, Ahmed's last victory in the Endurance Cup goes to the first round of the Endurance Cup at Daytona. What a fight that was. And take a look at this gap here. Kraus has put down half a second on Eamon Esper. George Kraus in the silver category, the German. We talked about it last week on. He could be one of your future stars of CMRC in the writing right here. You take a look at this moment here. We'll talk about it actually in a second here. Looks like Santos has got the move on Ahmed for the gold class. Didn't get the proper look of it, but both of them looked like they went wide around Blanchimont. Yes, it's convinced. Santos is through to third. What were we saying earlier? Kraus, despite having issues with damage early on at Le Mans, his first proper race, he showed us huge potential being the fastest driver on track on that day. Now heading into today, he could look for his first race win in the main event of Saturday. Now that could be huge. Meanwhile, just seeing Nixon there, I thought that was a lead change at the moment. I was very confused. Now on board with Ahmed. Slipstream, nose to tail. And look for the outside. Santos is a sitting duck, squeezes, puts the big squeeze on Ahmed. Right, left, through Lecombe. Oh, trouble for Santos! Trouble for Santos! Good save from him! And I think Ahmed just gave him a little bit of a love tap there to keep him in check. Once again, Daniel Santos. Big trouble for him. Oh, and look at Ahmed slide in the back. Both of them struggling with tire wear and trouble for Ilham Lesmana, and that is Thiago Ravaz, both drivers. Huge trouble in that moment. Lesmana gets through from Lecombe. Not a multi-pile up there that blocked the road, looks like it. He's been able to get back free. His teammate, Project Guardrail Racing, not too far behind. Maximilian in 13th, but now he's holding on to Morales for 10th. Silver category. Right in front of you there. Ilham also fighting in this championship, but he's far from where the rest are. And Eli, inside line potentially. Hey, take a look at Lacey on board. She's just looking for an opportunity to find a move. And meanwhile, back up to this fight here as we head back through the Blanc-Chamois. And Ahmed, 3rd position, back through. Didn't see it for the moment, but now we're in night. It is late night hours here. We are going to switch to a higher quality here. We're going to swap from sky, and we're going to go all the way down to pure a little bit brighter, or pure candy. Actually, that is pretty dark. We'll go back to sky here. Looks like it's a little bit brighter for now. Lacey defending against Morales, and they head up to the bus stop chicane. Maximilian has a move up the inside. Right-hander. Oh, Eli goes deep, and Eli Morales trouble. And apologies for the mispronunciation. Eli Morales just getting corrected there for my team. Thank you for that. So apologies there. Eli Morales. Nose to tail through Eau Rouge. Chasing down 411. Monster run there, and that might be track limits. It could be gaining an advantage. But looks like Maximilian has foregoed that advantage and tucking back in. Look at that go. Nose to tail, they bump draft each other. They head to Lecombe, right-hander, through to the left this time by, and now to the right. Meanwhile, we talk about one driver from Spirit Racing Energy. Take a look at the other at the top. 1.2, the difference, make it 1.1. If I was Eamon, I would honestly just let go of George Krause. I would not fight him for a single second. I'd be wasting time when I have a huge advantage over the one driver I need to focus on in this race. Trouble for Lacey, hits the gravel, and now Maximilian Fleer putting even more pressure. Silver against gold, but you remember at the start of the race, Maximilian couldn't catch a break, taken out in the early stages. Meanwhile, Mark Crawford, driver who is taken out there. I don't know if it's two Audis who had some trouble, but it is the midnight hours here. And it's going to be pretty hard to see here, folks. This is the Spa 24 for you. The last time we have seen late darkness here at Spa, you go all the way back to the last time we also had a championship battle at Spa. Justin Nasseir versus Martin Webster. Trouble for 18th, and that is once again Mark Crawford. That's against Danny Nasseir, both of them having some trouble in the darkness. And here is Daniel Santos, and that's a huge point in this race. He's in pit lane. So, something's wrong with that car. Is it pressures? Is it damage? Is it overheated tires? Whatever the case is, he now takes the long route around and through. Does he have enough fuel to the end? That is the big question. If this could be an undercut and he could stay to the very end. Santos calls out, he got damage, red damage. So that's like the worst damage from a tap onto the wall. Now, I'm not too sure what part of the wall that would have been, but it's more trouble for Daniel Santos. And meanwhile, side by side here, Keimani, Gabrielle, through Lecombe, wheel to wheel. You can barely see them as they head down to Brussels. Side by side, and Keimani Can he pull the switchback through and around? They head up to No Name that time by. Still side by side. And Gabriel holds on. Meanwhile, Santos looks like he might be exiting pit road. And Mark Crawford, retirement from this race. Meanwhile, at the front, Eamon Espear in trouble. Kraus is here. Let's try one more time with the filters. I feel like we can get something a bit brighter here with pure. Maybe if we can go pure candy here. That might be a bit better for us at night. Try to get the best view here. That might do it. 5/10 for the lead. Maximilian also putting in pressure. Two Germans putting the fight down on Spirit Racing Energy here today. And through to the right. Crossing over the start-finish line between first and second. The gap is half that second. Maximilian Fleer also half off. We also look to this fight here. Keimani ahead of Gabriel Costa. And now Keimani can start to stretch his wings. He's finally been able to fight through the traffic. Next week out, it is July the 4th and the beginning of the final series. We started off at Sebring. It's going to be 40 minutes of racing. It's a long day of races. Basically a 90-minute race split in half. That's what we're going to get. Cannot wait for it. Gap for the lead, 6/10. We still watch this fight here. That is 5/10 of a second just off. George is still P2, looking for first. He is first in the silver category. Big moment for him. And a big shift in his points. Back to this fight here. Kraus chases down Eamon Espear for the overall lead of the Spa 24 Virtual. Kraus was the quickest man at Le Mans last weekend. Was not able to get it done. Daniel Santos has called it quits. Daniel Santos has lost the championship. He is out. It's over. I watched him. He did have too much time in pit lane. We'll see him for the playoffs. But the chance for Title 4, it's gone. Wow. I'm absolutely starstruck. Eamon Espear. He's basically secured it by all means if he does not essentially get himself banned out of this race. And Kraus now putting the pressure. I think Eamon realizes that the title fight is over. An anticlimactic showcase that has gone down in the first 30 minutes of it. It's all over. And for the second time in the GT3 category, Eamon Espear has won from an early retirement from Daniel Santos. It was back in February where Daniel disconnected through the internet connectivities. This time around, it looked like the damage was way too much for him. He's out. What a shell shocker of a moment. We thought this was Santos's revenge tour. It's gonna have to wait to the playoffs starting next week. Absolutely huge. It's not over yet because Kraus could change this story. Now, Eamon Espear is, well, not leading this championship. He is behind 1 point, ladies and gentlemen. Santos will watch this stream like he did back in February, watching this race, went Interlagos. Eamon Espear's in second, but it's 1 point. Eamon just needs 1 point. He needs to finish in the top 12 to win the championship. It could go very wrong at any stage if Santos could retire out from damage just like that. If Eamon may crash, Santos could still hold the title, and it would be an even more dramatic finale. Marcos Ramos, lap traffic. He stays out the way in the Audi. Oh, he needs to get out the way. Oh, Marcus, lap traffic, buddy. You gotta get out the way sooner. Oh, no, that's trouble there. All right, Marcus, just a warning for you. If you see the leaders, you have to let them through at the soonest straight. Just a warning for you. And Eamon Espear's lead's been cut down. An extra 10th. Momentum swinging in the favor of Kraus, and lap traffic getting in the way there. Again, this is exactly what we saw at Interlagos, that race. We also saw Eamon taken out by blue flags as well. It is eerily feeling exactly like that day months ago. But he's still leading. And Kraus is still hot on the heels, but I think Eamon is a driver who wants to win this race as well, to feel prideful, to know that he won a championship and he was the best of the rest. But Kraus is not going to make it easy. One of your future stars of CMRC, if he is one for the long haul, which I really hope he is. I love him. Love his racecraft, and he has been a driver that has taken the CMRC paddock by storm in only the short time he has been here, debuting through Wednesday Cup. Wednesday Cup, ladies and gentlemen, the fun series that we have on weekdays. Every Wednesday, it's absolutely huge. What he has been able to muster up to now fight against the big dogs of CMRSC. And honestly, if he stays for the long haul, I can see him getting a championship in this year, in his rookie year. From that point on, it's 1 hour to go. 59 minutes, 55 seconds on the count. It's game on to the end here. 1 hour. We'll do it. We look at the rear, and the BMW still continues to hold on to this lead against George Kraus. And Kraus, ooh, look at that inside move. Potentially just could not find the opportunity to get it done. We go back to this fight. And Lacey Fancher putting in some work on Ilham Lesmana. Ilham not the best of exits through Radion. And that is going to seal the deal for that fight right there. Lacey Fancher. And this is also big for the team standings. Spirit Racing Energy. If they can muster up enough points, if Lacey can do her work, maybe get into the top 5 potentially, it will for sure secure that team standings. And it is going to be a Spirit Racing sweep here today. What a race this is. And it still continues on with this fight for the lead. Danny Nasseir and Oleg swapping positions. Remember, Oleg had trouble early on. Here comes Kraus for the lead against Eamon Asper in the midnight hours of Belgium. Wheel to wheel, Eamon does not have to risk too much, but I think he'll still want to win this race. Outside maneuver is possible for him. Can he get it done? Rounding it through the bus stop chicane. He cannot. Kraus will lead it through the bus stop in a lead at Spa. Eamon, however, will try for the move. Lasource, does he pull the dive bomb? I know him very well, and I know he will. Through Lasource, side by side. And it's oh so close. Marcos Ramos retires it out from this one. And Kraus still in the lead. Wheel to wheel. Nose to tail. Through Radion. On the slipstream here. And Eamon has the chance to get it back. Inside move. No, not exactly. For the braking. Left-hander now through from the right. Very tight between each other. Now, through Brussels. Right-hander. Downhill of turn 10. Now 11 of No Name. Still close together. Kraus leading it. Eamon just needs to finish in the top 12 to secure the title. And that's not to mention, if he can be the most consistent of today, he will also be able to tie it here. And on countback, it should go to Eamon. So it's all his to lose here today. Chad is cheering on George. It's been far too long, even though it's been just a couple races since he's been here. A race win was in it. But still, this fight continues on. And it's 7/10 the difference. Now let's take a look at the rest of the order here. And we look for our championship contenders through to the silver category. Let's take a look at them now. That's your silver standings. So Evan Steinberg, of course, not here today. Let me rewind it here, and let's take a look at it right now. So that's how it is. Casper, Oleg, Nixon. 42, 42, 41. Where do they lie? Casper, Nixon. They are both one position apart from each other. Between those two, if it stays like this right now, Casper takes the championship. And Nixon finishes second. Nixon on course to potentially take his first championship. It's not an overall one, but it goes to the history books of CMRSC. It does count for the history. So it's a first title, potentially on the cards. Taking a look at the bronze category. Danny Nasseir, 16. Where's Tiago? 9th. However, he's needing a couple of bronze cars to go through, and look at the pace he's got. He's looking for the move on Ilham for 8th. Now, silver car is behind him, won't do much, but it will allow him to spread his wings because he continues to lead this one off. He has Ailey behind in second place. Felix Lau in third. Gabriel Costa's back here, as well as Oleg Sensen. And Danny Nasseir in fourth. He's got past Pedro, Claudio Jr., and our retirements here today. Mark Crawford, Marcus Ramos, and Guyana. Evan Steinberg also in this one, but he is very far behind here. Now, if he can score points in the top 12, he'll still muster up something. But remember, he's going to need a little bit of a swing here between the two. If he wants to hold on, doesn't look like it's possible. It's going to be a hard race for him to get back and going. But meanwhile, Thiago Ravaz will calculate it later on in this race. But Danny Nasseir's at 61. Thiago is at 40, needing a 21-point swing. However, as it stands, in this race, the points stay like this. Well, Danny will still take it. Danny Nasseir needs 6th or lower if Thiago wants to win this championship. And right now, it's still possible. Danny Nasseir is in 4th. Pedro, 5th position, bronze, 6th, Claudio. Our calculation is correct there. That is what it's looking like for the bronze category. So Danny is holding on by a thread. The smallest of threads. To see if he can do it here. If he finishes last, and both Pedro and Claudio finish this race, they can do it. And take a look at Thiago, flashing the headlights. Cannot spam it, of course. A little too much, and it could be up to a 5-second time penalty. Unnecessary headlight flashing, very distracting. We'll stay on board with him. I can't tell if it is manually flashing the headlights there. We still continue this race. The action that's going on here, Thiago still doing a great job of holding on to this lead, and he wants to get 8th position overall. And all of them, even though there's classes, they want the overall points, on the overall positions, as Thiago gets the move done on Ilham Lesmana. And Ilham down to 9th. However, it's contact between them as Thiago swiping through from the curb. Ilham goes wide, but he touches the gravel, and Thiago will go through. However, Ilham swings it deep through Brussels. And now heading into No Name, and still a very close duel between them. And Thiago goes very wide. Oh, he's taking him out, and that's absolutely huge. Thiago Ravaz spinning out. He's lost the lead. And Morales takes the lead of the bronze standings. Danny Nasseir's title looking a lot more shiny. That is almost certainly a penalty. Yes, Thiago Ravaz went wide, but Ilham Lesmana just drove right into the rear on him. And there's trouble. Pedro, is he facing the wrong way? Or is that the right direction there? Now it's his late night here, and he stopped on track. Now we're watching here. Has to get back going safely. Claudio Jr. coming up potentially. No, it's a lapped car. As Claudio's actually now exiting pit lane, and this is Ilham. Slow car! Oh, that's trouble! Couldn't see it live on the screen there. That is a huge moment there. And Ilham, a 10-second time penalty for track limits. It's a blue flag there. Pedro gets off circuit and gets lapped by his class leader. And Morales up now. Thiago's got some work to do, but Thiago has pace. He might have damage, though. As they head into La Source. He's got some work to do. Maximilian now looking for this fight between himself and Morales. Nelly Morales will shuffle down to 10th. But Danny Nasseir's title right now looking great. It's looking even better. Still midnight hours. You won't see the sun for probably another 20 minutes. So they still have to deal with the late hours here, but we're 18 laps complete, heading through to 19 shortly. And trouble for Maximilian Fleer. He goes sideways there. Ilham Lesmana finding himself facing the wrong direction. It was contact between himself and Max. And that's teammates as well. Those are teammates there. Now onto the straight here, looking for the move. Back on Morales. Lots of chaos here in the late hours. But still your leader in the bronze category. Morales, your silver and overall leader. That's going to George Kraus. And your gold championship leader, that's Eamon Esper. What an interesting race. Trouble. Was that trouble? No, it's pit lane. It is pit lane for Layla. Now on the exit. And Ahmed now coming up fast. Heading up the hill. And trouble! Claudio Jr. hits the wall. Is that his race done? Oh, it is! And we're also getting word that Pedro is out. That secures Danny Nasseir's title unless Danny retires in this race. Now Danny could finish anywhere and he will win the championship. Huge moment there. Drivers are hitting the wall and just calling it quits. Too much damage, it looks like. The percentage of this race, I think it was 70%. So an absolute huge, scary point here. And Thiago Ravaz is racing with copium through his blood and veins, hoping that there's something going wrong for Danny. But look at the amount of retirements here today. It also helps Evan Steinberg as well. He's got some, oh no, maybe not. He's gone deep around the bus stop chicane. He has joined in 5 laps down. He's hoping for a lot of chaos to go down later on in this race. And that's trouble for Thiago Ravaz. And that was up the hill through Radion, and he's sticking to one side of the circuit, and Ilham Lesmana goes through. That's damage for Thiago. More trouble for the bronze category. Danny may actually look like the only driver in this one. Oh, and yeah, there is something wrong. Let's go in car. Nah, doesn't look like they're steering. Doesn't look like steering is the problem. But he's going deep. There is damage. Let's take a look on the radar. And yeah, rear, huge, heavy damage. The rear has taken the most of the beatings. I don't think it's suspension. So he's fine for the time being. But this completely opens the door for Danny Nasseir that he just needs to win this race, not have a disconnection, not retire, and he'll take the title home. And he will be your driver who qualifies as your first playoff spot. Now, that is absolutely huge. Danny Nasseir in it, dominating that one. Layla, trouble, pit exit, potentially. Grabbing word a 72-kilometer crash that was on pit exit. Now back going. P6 in pit lane. That is Nixon. It truly looks like the only championship battle we have to watch is the fight between Kacper Tashiaki and Nixon Roll for the silver class. This is absolutely huge between them. Their gap, well, let's take a look at it live to show you that gap. And there you go. Kacper 42. Oleg is also at 42. Nixon 41. That is a moment and a half. Nixon's now into pit lane. And we also have Eli Morales in the box. So, looks like halfway point indeed. And we're getting those stops underway. And you see pit lane firmly busy out here. Early morning at Spa. So far, controlled and dominated by Lexus, followed by BMW and Chevrolet. Now, we're waiting for the command from Casper's team for the Mercedes. He has still to make a box, still to pit. Fuel will not make it, and you got to switch out the tires because they are going to go deep. And that is exactly what the leader is going to do. So George Kraus in for his pit stop today. It allows Eamon to run deep. I don't know what the plan is going to be for him. We also had contact between Gabriel Costa and the first ever driver in CMRSC from Singapore, Felix Lau. And he's doing a great job in that vet. Top 10 right now. Fantastic effort from him. So on pit exit, coming out now. Here comes Kraus, or is that now pit entry? Wow, it's pit entry now. That looked very long. Here comes Kaimani as well. He was P2 in the silver, we believe. So let's see how that one turns out for him. 80 kilometers stuck in pits, and Casper is now in. So now we have to figure out where Nixon is, and there he is. Long way to go here. He's only getting through turn 14, now into Stavelot. Ooh, bit of lag there once again. This is the second time now we've seen the lag. We know he's fighting for a championship, so we want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but if battles do hamper like last week, it won't be so nice for him this time. Gotta say, the track is too dark off the safety car. You say that, look at the sky. It's getting brighter now. Let's go on board with Kraus. You may have called that one a bit too late there, sir safety car. And look on pit exit there. Overtake being made there. Maximilian Fleer is through to 4th. However, without a pit stop. Now, we're not even getting word about pit stops on our screen here, so we'll know about it later on. But meanwhile, Nixon rounding out turn 1. There is Casper. Pit exit for him. He's got a great launch, and I think this is going to be what he needs. Potentially, yes. Nixon's nowhere near Eau Rouge, and Casper will hold on to the championship lead on the exit of pit lane. He's got some lap traffic, some ahead. One of them is Evan Steinberg. Championship rival that Casper's going to come up against, but unfortunately he arrived at this race a little too late. He rejoins it, and unfortunately, not in it. Not in this fight. His championship fight is over, but, you know, no control over him. However, I believe he should potentially be in the chance to be in that top 10. For the overall point standings, granted, Casper is ahead on points. We'll see how it turns out. Now, there goes Casper right in the background. That is Nixon. And take a look at this. George Kraus gets the move done on Max Fleer. And in that BMW, he's still having to make an eventual pit stop. Sun is coming out here for the final 40 minutes of this race. And Max will box in this lap. And Eamon will do the same thing. Now, he's been in the box for quite a while. Let's see if staying out has helped him in this race. Fastest lap for Eamon all race long, a 15.2 against Krause's 14.8. He's been able to find some incredible pace in this race. There he goes in the Lexus. He will pass Eamon Nasseir. However, it might be close. Look on the right-hand side of your screen. There he is. Head exit. Oh, bit of a wiggle there. Spooky moment, but game on. He'll have the better tires to the end, but they're cold right now. So, game on, the battle for the lead. Ahmed also leading us off in the gold class in front. Last time he was leading a race, you go all the way back to Daytona, where he eventually won it. But he has to get through the pack here and eventually head into pit lane. Is exactly what he will plan to do. Now, with all these pit stops going down and with Oleg's early pit stop in this race, it puts him back up at the front, and I didn't notice it, but he's ahead of Casper. So Oleg is now leading the championship in the silver. Absolutely huge there. Now, remember, Oleg had to pit very early. Question is, can the fuel hold on? He will probably need a safety car to survive this one. Ahmed in the pit lane. So he'll still have to fight to keep these points alive. Terrible idea. I mean, we saw it right then and there. Night here at Spa is very eventful, to say the least. Here comes Casper. Outside move on Oleg. Side by side. A little bit of contact. Yes, there's contact. And trouble. That's pit exit. And again, another retirement. Ilham Lesmana is out, and his championship battle is kissed goodbye just like that. All right, now it's the sun coming out. I can't play it on stream, but open up your Spotify, open up your YouTube, and play some Sade, because the sun is rising here at Spa, and this fight is going to look hella majestic. I hope you got it playing right now, because what you got to do right now is you got to pause it, you got to close Spotify, you got to close YouTube. Why? Oleg has now entered pit lane. He did not have fuel to the end. So, unfortunately, to anybody who had music about to be playing, unfortunately that has to turn off. But let's hold on. It's Felix and Layla about to go to war. And we're getting word for Ilham. His wheel had disconnected. All right, open up back. Sade, we can do it now for this fight here, because that chrome Corvette chases down Layla. In through Blanc-Chamont now, as they go nose to tail, a little bit on the curve for the Lexus. It's an incredible showcase here from Lau as they head into the bus stop. Right-hander into the left, and Layla still holds on to 13th position. It's a silver driver against a bronze driver, as Oleg continues to hold on to pit lane. Is that Danny Santos? Danny? That is actually Danny Nasseir. So a bit confusing. I don't blame you for that one. The names itself, they will be fixed to last names, surnames. Once we get to next week, it's just a bit of an issue where it only shows us classes if we switch it to these surnames. So it's actually Danny Nasseir. Santos is retired, and we'll go through the race review in just a moment. I hope that didn't give you a shock to learn about that fact. Felix Lau on the slipstream, down the Camel straight, right-hander, up the inside, and it's a drag race that they head up to the chicane, and the Singaporean driver will get through there. But Layla's trying to fight hard to stick with this fight. Would be better, thank you. I'll show you in a moment what I mean once this battle starts to calm down. If Felix can stick away. Oh, trouble. Layla almost in the gravel. So let's actually show you here what we're talking about. If we go to last names, yeah, it only shows classes, the letters. Teams are not really set, and the full names just look a bit ugly. So for now, it's just first names, but we're going to go through the race rundown, and we're going to talk about our retirements. Kuina, retiring out. It was a jump start at the start of this race, and unfortunately, the drive-through penalty was not taken, so it was a disqualification and our first out of the race. Next up the order, Mark Crawford. It was just a straight retirement, nothing out of the ordinary there. Evan Steinberg joins us 5 laps down in this race, could not make it home in time. He is leading the silver category in the championship, but he's down in last and his title fight is over. He is now looking towards if he can gain enough points to stick it into the overall standings, top 10, to make it to the playoffs. Daniel Santos is your main talking point here. Retires out of this race after the first 30 minutes. He had damage somewhere on circuit. We didn't catch it live. He took it to pit lane early on, but then he just decided to quit entirely. Didn't decide to wait for a safety car. It's over for him. He called it quits. He's got damage, but even then, he was struggling all race long. Once he lost the lead to Eamon Esper in the early stages, he could not hold it, and that is a huge moment there for the silver class, all like 10-second time penalty. Marcos Ramos, Claudio Jr. in the same ballpark, retiring out each other, not crashing with each other, but separate moments, just calling it quits. Pedro also out of this one, and Ilham Lesmana out of this race. With the amount of bronze drivers who have retired, the next driver, P15, is Danny Nasseir. Because of his 21-point lead in the championship, it essentially gives him the title. Even with Thiago Ravaz up ahead in 11th place, it's counted as just the bronze drivers alone, and there is only one driver separating them. So far, Danny's third, but he's leading this championship. Next up to Oleg with that 10-second time penalty. He had a moment, 4-car battle for the championship lead in silver. He had a moment where he went off circuit, overtook Keimani. Race control called him out and said, if you want to continue racing, you're free to do so. However, if it is called out that is a time penalty, it could be a 5-second that could affect his championship. He decided to not take the risk, to stay out long, and let through the cars behind, accidentally let through Casper, ran deep off circuit through Blanc-Chemin with a little bit of contact between himself and Nixon. His race, his championship over just like that, running off circuit, had to repair for damage. Layla up next, 13th in the silver category. Trying to find her footing here, and that is what we're talking about there. Just a nightmare in GT3 for Layla. Just does not enjoy these cars whatsoever. We're going to take a quick break from that because Maximilian, we thought there was a move up the inside against Lacey Fancher. We'll continue the moment here as, whoa, up the inside for the moment there. Little slide. Max looking for that move desperately to try to go through. Felix Lau, debut driver, doing a great effort out here. First race, currently sitting 12th with all the retirements that have gone down and has kept his nose clean in this one. Up next, Thiago. He leads in bronze, but the championship not going to him today unless Danny Nasseir retires from this race, where he will finish 0 points. That is the only way Thiago can win. He's kind of feeding on the podium at the moment. Eli Morales, driver in the silver category, was also one of those drivers who was kind of on the tail end of the fight we were just watching just now between Max and Lacey. In the bronze category, was honestly just one of those drivers who is on the lookout during that championship fight when there were more bronze class drivers. And unfortunately, with all those retirements, it makes Danny Nasseir's life a whole lot easier when he was taken out at the end of lap 1. Speaking of drivers taken out, Maximilian Fleer was taken out at the start of this race as we headed on the exit of the Camel into Lake Combe. Now, we didn't see properly what happened to him, but it sent him backwards, as well as Lacey Fancher also backwards from this one. Nixon also up next on the order. Now Nixon lagging a bit, but has still been in this championship fight for the silver category. We take a look at the silver standings now. And is there trouble I just heard? I thought I just heard a car pull off to the side. Nixon, there you see, in the championship hunt, a point behind Casper and Oleg. So far, Nixon is 1 position behind the championship leader. However, the gap is very, very long. We'll need a safety car if there's a chance. Meanwhile, Layla back in pit road again. It puts up Oleg another position. Up to the silver class championship leader as it stands. Casper looking for his first championship in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club in the Mercedes. Great all endurance season long. And this looks like the one where he can finally get a championship under his belt. It will go to the history books. There's an overall championship that has gone down in different classes. The first time CMRC has introduced something like this before. Will not be the last time. But Casper, this is his day. And it can only go wrong. All controlled by him. He just needs to hold on to P1, or at least ahead of Nixon to take this title. Keimani Ning. Let's talk about this guy for a moment, because Keimani has had an absolute stellar performance. He was the driver of the day in that 4-car battle we saw in the first opening 20 minutes of this race, where we saw Oleg, Casper, Gabriel Costa all fighting for position. He may be in 3rd place in the silver class with 4th behind and P1 in the championship. And with Keimani not even in this championship fight to begin with, you got to imagine if he was in this championship, this could be absolutely huge implications. As well as the driver ahead in 4th, also known as 2nd. And this man right here, even though he took damage early on in this race that did slow him down, Gabriel Costa has been one of the favorites to watch out here, and he has done a fantastic job of keeping this race alive here for him. 4th overall right now, 2nd place. We'll talk to our podium in just a moment. Actually, we'll talk about it right now. Ahmed in 3rd. We haven't seen this man in quite a while. Stuck it out, stayed consistent. He stayed behind George Kraus in the fight as Daniel Santos was keeping ahead in P2 early on in this race. Now with Santos out the picture, it allows Ahmed to stretch his wings. However, just a little too far from your top 2. Starting off with Eamon Espeir, who led this race in the early goings. Unfortunately, though, did not have the pace to keep ahead of George Kraus, so it does not look like a race win today is his. However, never say never in motorsport. But Eamon right now has done everything right. He will win the championship if he finishes P1 here today in the gold category. And honestly, if he just finishes in the points to begin with. In 1st place. And the fastest lap of the race with a 2:14.865. The only driver to get into the 14s. It's George Kraus. The German joining us not too long ago has set CMRSC on fire. He dominates this race. He has done an amazing job to climb through. He fought against both Daniel Santos and Eamon Espeir. It reminded me of Daniel Santos' debut. He debuted in the GT World Challenge 2025 at Indianapolis, facing off against what was back then the top drivers. And that was Andy Rees, Mike Van Dorn, and I believe Luca Andretti potentially was in that fight. I don't think so. I think it was just those two. But what a battle they both had. Andy Rees and Mike Van Dorn. What a fantastic fight they had. And Santos was that newcomer on the block, the new kid on the block. Showed the current generation that was slowly in front of us becoming the last generation of CMRSC as quick drivers. Now, we look like we're in a new generation where George Kraus might be that new driver to look out for. Honestly, call him the Kimi Antonelli of CMRSC. Why not? New kid on the block. He's not the youngest, but he's sure as hell one of the fastest. 2 fights to look out for. Let's stop talking about statistics and positions. Let's take a look at some racing going on. Oleg has found himself at the rear end of Felix Lau for position, and it's 4/10 the difference. We also watch Maximilian Fleer and Lacey Fancher. 0 safety cars here for today. We have not seen a safety car since the 24 hours of the Nürburgring Virtual back in May. And maybe it looks like this. However, side by side, very risky up through Eau Rouge. Wow, going very deep. Oleg has to take off circuit. He gets through. Barely. I think he was ahead on track. And then he goes off circuit. So it looks like he's fine for position. I don't think he would be letting through that one anytime soon. But now, up another position. Still a long way to go. 25 minutes. Still needs a safety car. Back to this fight here. Maximilian Fleer and Lacey Fancher. Now, we were talking about the Bronze Championship. I just do not hear my name. What's up, Andy? We're essentially talking about newcomers to CMRSC. We cannot forget about the IMSA Vintage Series where Andy Rees debuted and won his championship there in his first attempt, going on to have a legendary championship rivalry throughout the year 2024, 2025 with Mike Van Doorn, the then fastest driver of CMRSC. We actually were supposed to get Mike this week. We may not see him until next week. And Andy, I hope I see you very soon. It was indeed mental. It was. Here comes Max, outside move on Lacey Fancher. Both of these drivers have been doing a fantastic job battling each other in the BMWs. But if you are tired of GT3, we do have a couple more weeks left before we head into Project... Ooh, contact there! Project National Multi-Class P&M. We are going to see hypercars and GTs together. And Andy, like I said, I better see you in that one. Fancher lets through for the time being. Nose to tail through Radion. Closest fight we have on track. Lacey and Eamon, both of them trying to secure enough points to surpass Nano Shift in the point standings. Now, does Lacey send it up the inside? Yes, yes, she does. Wheel to wheel, side by side. Little bit of contact between them, and now Lacey has the inside line and gets back through. Fancher up to 8th. One of the best drives I've seen from her in recent memory. A great, great fight. Take a look at these standings really quickly as we have the time. There you see it. 88 to 106. Long way to go, but it should. By this stage, with everything that has gone down with no nano shift drivers on circuit. What a moment. I'm going to say I'm low-key bored right now. That's coming from this guy who's currently driving, so one hand on the keyboard. Clearly, no man's land, but I mean, Evan, this has been a very clean race. We have not seen big crashes. Gotta give it to this pack here. This has been a very clean final 3 races of the Endurance Cup. I'll say final 2 races. Nürburgring, we did have a handful of incidents back then. This one has been different. We did see some bumps and tops and off-track excursions, but nonetheless, it's still been fantastic racing. And this is one where we're talking about still. Max still looking for 8. Maximilian is a gold-class driver. And don't discredit him for the position he is in, depending on where everyone else is from his respective class. He was taken out, after all, with Lacey Fancher, with Layla Petragula. Absolutely stellar here. As we head down from La Source, it's still our closest battle to look out for. And we're coming down to it. Now, the final time is the 12 to 10 minute point for when safety cars can come out. Once we are between 12 to 10 minutes, safety cars will not be able to come out from them. So, not too long left. My poor drone camera, aka my Xbox controller, has disconnected from me. Connect that back. We haven't used it in a while, so you know what? Let's use it right now. And let's watch this battle from the sky as Max Fleer wants to look for this overtake for 8th position. A very respectful fight between the two as they head through No Name, this time by left-hander. Identical pace. Maybe looks like Maximilian had a better run. But now through the left of Puan, turn 12. And looks like Fleer's been able to get a move on. Rahul's just collecting dust at this point. Yes, you gotta shake off the dust there. I also heard in the rumor mill, Mike Van Dorn, also, he's got himself a new rig. Don't want to spoil it too much for him. But still, incredible fight here. Max getting close. Now, this race could easily turn its way upside down if there is a multi-car incident that does block the circuit. That's going to be one of the main things that causes it. Steinberg in the box from this point on, and that might be his final stop of the race. But here we go. Still 8/10 difference, 7/10 the difference. Come on, Max, let's see what you can do against Lacey Fancher. Is Lacey the better driver out here? One of a handful of female drivers in CMRSC, but a driver who is still yet to have that overall race victory. We've seen it from the likes of current active drivers like Layla. Mentioned that when I was at his place in the Netherlands. Oh, having a new rig. Yeah, so I saw the setup myself. He was supposed to race today, but he told me we might have a solid chance we'll see him next week out. And next week, to all our American viewers and our American drivers here, July the 4th brings the first round of the final series. It is 2, count them, 40-minute races at Sebring. We return to Sebring, the bumpy circuit. We have not visited there since 2023. As both drivers here, Lacey and Max, go into the gravel there. From the right-hander. Just under 18 to go. 2/10 now the difference. This looks like a better opportunity to get this move done on Lacey. Has to just keep the momentum. Little lift there. Dirty air, potentially. Oh, the dive bomb. I felt the aura of Maximilian on board with him. He wanted to so badly. But he's backed out, not wanting to go forward, and he continues to chase. Still in different classes here, but these are still big points when it comes to the overall standings. His current / old rig. Yeah, for sure. A lot of drivers nowadays. Mozas. Fanatics. Mike Van Dorn, Team Thrustmaster, all the way. You can use code CMRSC to save yourself a lovely discount on all official Thrustmaster websites. And all proceeds go right back to the league. Thank you, Thrustmaster, to allowing us into your partnership program. Trouble for the car ahead of second position. That's Evan Steinberg, and here comes Eamon. We'll be passing through. Is that going to be a retirement there? I think he's just letting through blue flags. Yes, he is. So he's now got back going again. I thought for a moment, you know, when you watch F1, and you see that yellow sector come up on the timing board, your heart races. Everything freezes for a moment because it's like, oh my God, something happened. Well, very anticlimactic there for Mr. Kevin Steinberg to go deep off circuit. Nonetheless, though, 15 minutes, 55 seconds left to go. Cutting it close. It's the last chance we're going to see a safety car in this race. Is there an opportunity? A final dance here in this one. Through Stavelot and Campus. Once again, 4 tenths of difference. We've just been watching this fight all race long. Apologies for the livery. The lack of livery for Lacey. She is supposed to have one on car, but I think that's my system acting up. I did have some trouble with some of the BMW liveries earlier on. So apologies, Lacey, at Spirit Racing for the issues there. But for sure, next week, her home race, it'll all be sorted by then. And Max now having an opportunity. Let's talk about that championship coming up. 3 race weekends, a playoff similar to Race of Champions. We started off at Sebring. From there, week after that, it is Buenos Aires, the Argentine Grand Prix. We know we have some Argentine fans. Shout out to Eros Conti. He's been one driver who's always wanted to see that circuit, so I hope I see him out there. Buenos Aires up next, and then we take a 1-week break to the finale the week after at Portimao, the Portuguese Grand Prix, a race in Portugal that was supposed to take place at Estoril. However, technical difficulties and funding did not allow us to head to the circuit last minute, and it was a call up from South Africa to head to Kyalami, where we saw that iconic fight between Eamon Espeir and Maximilian Fleer. Which, by the way, I believe that was a race won by Daniel Santos. It's crazy how just a couple months later, it's all transpired from this championship. It's a different one, of course. The blue side of CMRSC, the Endurance Cup. The first time we have had 3 GT3 championships in 1 year. We know damn well it was not funding. Yeah, Estoril. I'm not gonna say too much other than the fact that their grass was made of something lumpy. I'll tell you that much. If you know, you know. Max, Lacey, once again. This time it's 2 tenths as they head out of Stavelot. Is this now finally a move for Maximilian Fleer? Nose to tail, little lift. That lift is costing him, but that's the dirty air. And still does not go for the position. Not close enough. That little lift through Blanchimont is what's causing it. I know Mr. Safety Car somewhere is just praying that a dive can go through and if something goes wrong, somebody's on the roof. We hope we can just have a fun race though, but the safety car, shout out to him. Shout out to our safety car driver. If you're a wrestling fan, he's our El Grande Americano. If you know, you know. Playing a double life. I won't unmask him to the public to let everyone know who that person is. There's been a lot of speculation who it has been. I've heard theories that the safety car was me. I've heard the safety car could have been Evan Steinberg, even though he's driving. People have been saying it's a duplicate. Now I know Evan just heard me on his side monitor, and now he's going to reach to his keyboard. That's my plan all along. Now he's going to lose control of his car. Might get a safety car. Nonetheless, though, there's a lot of theories who it could be. Nothing's confirmed. As we still continue this race, let's just look at somebody else here for the moment. We'll come back to them for the moment, for later on. There is George Krause cruising his way to victory. If we really had a safety car here like the last couple times, especially the Endurance Championship, funny. Last year, we had an Endurance Championship, but it was a multi-class series. This year, Endurance Cup. That's just GT3. Yes, the naming is not the best. Did your car coming in 1 minute? Did the safety car come in? I think you should just talk after the race. As, oh my goodness, oh, it happened! Max got past Lacy Fancher! The one lap we were not staring at them! Well, Lacy, what can you do? Is there potentially a dive bomb back, similar to Eamon? Outside move to the bus stop chicane! Very tight! Max looks firmly, he's got it done. They're toying with me, they're watching the stream. They want to see a brother commentator suffer. Wow, okay, well, with that out the way, we're on course for no safety cars in this one. Well, Mr. Safety Car, once again, he sits in pits watching the action go by. And unfortunately, another race. We did see him leading as well in this one. I think that was a very special moment for him. To be able to lead here. Some say that he is a former CMRC race winner. That's all I've heard. That's what the rumor mill tills up for this one. If I cut off of this fight here, are they going to overtake each other? I'm going to keep an eye on that gap. Keep a very close eye as they head through the process. Here is the teammate, though, of Lacy Fancher, and he now chases lap traffic there. Felix, whoa, 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 whoa. A little close. Onto the slipstream there. Felix Lau. Of course, lapped car. A little lift through Eau Rouge, and look at the time he's lost just from that moment right there. In the Corvette. Just not confident enough. But if it means you're going to stay consistent through that section, by all means, lift through it. Safety car doesn't mean... Safety car doesn't mean I can't straight line Eamon. Oh! Felix, trouble. Well, unfortunately, I don't think Polymarket put that scenario up, so it's kind of useless. I'm not going to be making any money off of it. What? The gap between Lacy Fancher and Maximilian Fleer has opened up to 1.2 seconds, and this race now officially has calmed down. There cannot be any chance of a safety car. Tiago spins it, and leader is coming up now. Now, George is going to see yellow flags very soon, and eventually we'll see a Rutland's Porsche very slow through Blanchimont, up the road. And a moment there for Tiago. Losing him some time there as we head up into the chicane. In through to the right. Left to the bus stop. Having to find a way to get past, and does so. So your leader back through and back to open road here. So he's now lapped every driver from 12th position. Now he's looking for Oleg and Morales. They're both up the road, quite a bit away. 1 second between them. Remember, Oleg last week at Le Mans, he was chasing down to get P2 and maybe P1 in that race, but because of that fighting going on between Daniel Santos and Eamon Esbier in that one, chased down to the very end, but a mistake through the Porsche curves sealed his deal, but I don't think it was a chance unless maybe there was an extra lap. Maybe, potentially. So now we come down to it. Morales, 10th place. Let's talk about, oh, trouble. Danny Nasseir. Oh, no! That is huge. That's a moment there. He gets it rotated. He's lost the car in the rear. He's got the championship under control. Steering looks fine. He's just lost the rear end heading through Stavelot. That could have been a huge moment there if that was a retirement. Oh, it's lifting. And that car looks very nervous around this part of the circuit. And the Coca-Cola machine. Oh, he's crawling. 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. Looks like he's trying to shake himself off of that spin. Still in the lead of that championship. Let's start with the silver class for a second. Not many calculations need to be done here. And with Evan Steinberg out the picture with 52, it's 10 points. But the deficit is way too much. Too many silver cars out there. Now, we'll still look at it live, but as it stands, Casper is in 4th position in this overall standings in the silver class. It's not victory. But P4 will put him up. Take a look at those standings. 42. That's going to be added on to his current, his points that he would be getting from this race. 17. 59 points at the end of it. Then you look at where Evan Steinberg is. Currently sitting not first, not second, not third, not fourth, not fifth, not 6th, not 7th, not 8th, but 9th. Which will put him up a couple of points. It'll be 7 to be exact. Currently sits at 52. Well, take a look at this. Calculations are through. Oh, Layla's got another 10-second time penalty for cutting the circuit. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe this is a Casper championship. I believe this might be a Steinberg championship. Casper might not be able to win this title. I thought it was Casper. All right, with 3 minutes left to go, let's start those review for points, because that is something I did not expect. I thought Casper had this one in the bag. I don't think he has. Now, let's do the order officially. For the silver category, heading into this final one, George Kraus will take maximum points here. Oh, my point screen has just crashed. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Evan might actually have this title. You just wait there, sunshine. You just wait there. I got it full screen here with me right now. Now, I'm going to do it live, but off screen here, because it's a bit of an interesting software. So, George Kraus leads it in the silver. P2, that is this man here, Gabriel Costa. And Gabriel Costa followed from him from P2. Now, this is, of course, if positions stay the same with 2 minutes left to go. Kaimani will be up next, followed by Casper. Casper would be your next driver in line. So right now, George, Gabriel Costa, Kaimani Young, and Casper Teziaki. From there, as the lap traffic goes... Actually, that's not even lap traffic! That's position! That's Gabriel Costa losing it out. That's huge. I did not expect that. So Keimani's up. Sensational moment there. Oleg next from Lacey Fancher. Time is coming down here. And now looking at the points as they stand. And now this is officially on track, not with time penalties. If that's the case, yes, Evan Steinberg will win by 2 points. I think we're dropping frames on stream. I did not expect that. I thought Casper had the title. I think we all thought Casper had the title. He does not. 8 seconds to go. We're officially 2 laps to the end. And this has gone in a direction I did not expect. Oh, timer's now officially expired in this race. We did have some buffering there for the moment. I think we're fine. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, Evan Steinberg, if Casper cannot improve 1 position, that's game. But take a look at this. Casper is 5.4 behind Costa. Is he fuel saving? Maybe, I can't tell. Casper is 5.4. That might give him the title. Now we'll figure it out here. This is absolutely huge. So with Keimani now finishing in 2nd, if Casper can officially pass Gabriel Costa, we set the points again, look at the overall, and Casper will be tied on victory, and he'll win it because of a former championship victory. Where would that have been, you may ask? The Nürburgring. 4 seconds the gap for a championship fight that Evan Steinberg cannot control. It's 4 seconds for the Silver Cup. It's still game on. Oh my goodness. George Krause around the final corner. He'll light up the fuse, cross over the start-finish line, and it's 1 to go for him. The final lap for Eamon Aspear. It's the final lap for him as well. And it's the championship that is looking pretty. 3.4 the difference for Casper and Gabriel. That could change the championship. Evan Steinberg, my man. You gotta finish where you finish there, unless we get another retirement. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. It's 3.1. It's gonna be a long shot for Casper in his championship, if he can do it. Double checking. Keimani 2nd, Costa so far in 3rd, but if he gets past, that's a different story. And with Nixon also, oh, we didn't even count Nixon as well. Wow, okay, my bad. My bad for the points. I think Casper may actually do it. Meanwhile, positions being changed right here as Nixon's going through. This is absolutely huge. I don't even know who's going to win the title in silver. It could be Casper still. However, a pass on him could seal the deal. Could very much seal the deal. Lap traffic, bronze and silver. They both get out the way for that man there. And Nixon drops down a place from the gold man, Max Fleer. So Krause in 1st, Keimani 2nd, Costa 3rd, Casper 4th, Nixon 5th, Lacey 6th, 7th, Oleg then Layla. But rounding out the final corner. What a race it has been for this man here. Joining us not too long ago, within the same month, he has come around the bus stop chicane, and George Krause has victory. He wins it at Spa. The 24 hours go to him. But for Eamon Nasseir, rounding out the final corner, Eamon is endurance champion of CMRSC. The 4th title goes to him. What a duel. What a fight. Take it back to this fight here, though. Not over yet for the title. And we're finally calculating the points. Casper may do it. I think Casper has it in the bag. He doesn't need Costa. Now, granted, there are still penalties to go on circuit. I'm uncertain, but I think this might be Casper's championship. I believe so. Ahmed finishes on the podium to 3rd, Keimani to 4th. But rounding out these couple of corners here, I think he's done it. I think Casper's just taken his first championship. And CMRSC, hold your tongue, but I think he's done it. I think he's done it. For the bronze category, however, this man here, Danny Nasseir, I think we'll talk about him when he gets to the line there. But I think Casper's got it done. We'll have to closely look at it. But victory lane, celebrations for Eamon. What a fight that was. He's won his 4th championship, and I think Spirit Racing will take a big one there. An absolute huge one. Spirit Racing, I believe, may be champions here in the team category. Wow, what a race. For the final couple of corners for Danny Nasseir. Picked up the pieces like Lamar. Danny Nasseir has just officially scored himself his 2nd championship in CMRSC, the bronze category, and the playoffs go to Danny Nasseir. But as for that man, championship victory for him. Wow. With Santos out the picture, it's all over. We head to the playoffs. Wow. Quite a bit to talk about, but wow. Absolute crazy one. We're going to talk about this one step at a time here. Now, right in our order here, we're going to look down the order of our race winners. From there, then we're going to go to the order of the silver championship, then our bronze, talking to our winners in each, as well as our champions. Let's start it off with our top 3 with P number 1. He's finally got it done here today. A stellar performance and the fastest man on track. Victory to George Krause. I'm inviting you up here to talk. George, you have a copy.
Hello.
What a race victory, and the fastest driver to do it, to seal the deal. You finally got that win, and you've barely been here. That was an incredible run for you. How was it?
It was great for me. Like everything worked out. I had a great time. I had like basically no mistakes. It was pretty consistent. Yo, I'm definitely pleased.
definitely pleased has to be an understatement, because you were a driver who just put pedal to the metal in the early stages. You stayed consistent at the start. Take us through those fights. You had a great one with Daniel Santos earlier on, and eventually Eamon towards the end of the first 30 minutes of the race. Take us through those battles, please.
Yeah, at the start I realized I was catching Daniel quite a lot in some parts, but I didn't want to fight him necessarily, because I still wanted him to be able to fight for the championship, since we were losing a lot to Eamon. But then later on, when I got attacked by Sharia, I think, Daniel had the mistake which made us go through. And from that point on, I had free air, because before that, dirty air was pretty bad throughout the race, especially on tire wear. So yeah, from that point on, I had free air finally and could push. And since Daniel was behind me at that point, I just wanted to catch Eamon, put in the laps, and caught him and overtook him.
It was a fantastic fight there. From that point on, looked like a bit of a lonely one, but sir, is this your first of many race wins here in CMRSC?
It's my first one in like a Saturday race in CMRC. Like, I won the Wednesday Cup, right? But other than that, it's my first one.
You're obviously put down in the silver category because it is your first time in the Endurance Cup. You're basically a gold driver here with us. But a huge victory from you. Would have been crazy to see if you were here back in time from the start of this Endurance Championship, what you could have done, but better late than never. We go into the final 3 weeks of CMRSC GT3 racing. Sebring, Buenos Aires, and Portimao. What are your thoughts going into those ones? Do you see yourself fighting for a championship? Because at the end of the day, it's still 6 races separately.
Oh, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna finish school next week, so I'm definitely gonna have the time to put in.
Wow.
But I don't know. Like, Sebring, I haven't really driven in Assetto Corsa and GT3s, or like in Assetto Corsa in general. Now I realize, but championship-wise, like the other guys are so far ahead. I think, might be unrealistic. It can happen maybe, but I don't think so.
Let's see what the future brings nonetheless. Congratulations, though. Big result there. P1, and like I said, looks like the first of many for you, and maybe a championship on the horizon. Congratulations.
Maybe. Thank you.
Now heading down the order to the driver in P number 2. It's not just a P2. I don't think he cares about finishing second place right now. It's more than a second position. It's a championship. It's a huge, huge title. Eamon Nasseir, you dominate in GT3 again, and you take the championship. The Endurance Cup goes to you. You already got the World Challenge. You're filling up your gauntlet like you're the CMRSC Thanos, man. But you won it. You got the title done. There's a lot of stuff that went on behind the scenes of how it all came to be, but you look to be the faster man in that championship hunt. But nonetheless, though, don't let me be the guy who speaks for you. How was that race for you?
I mean, the whole championship in its whole, like, that was stressful. Like, having Danny as a rival is the least I can wish for anyone for a championship fight, because he's fast week in, week out. Like, today, for example, he just came back to practice right before, like, the quali started, and he put it on pole. So, like, amazing performance from him. He had unfortunate incidents, but yeah, you know, it's racing. Like, at the end of the day, you still gotta put it together throughout the whole weekend, and there's still gonna be only one winner. So he would have deserved it just as much as I did. But I guess this time it swung my way. So yeah, it was a tough one. Phew, finally relieved of getting my third in CMRC.
And that's what I was about to transition to. This is the hat trick for you, the third one. You're back level with Daniel Santos. I think that big tiebreaker is going to be looking forward to the playoffs. You got that advantage, the advantage of just confidence in you that you were able to get it done today. I mean, just the main fight that we were watching out for was that early stage. Just take us through that early first couple of laps between yourself and the rest of the pack in that one.
Man, honestly, I can't even like believe it. Like, kind of speechless for that first lap because I thought that it was gonna be difficult and stuff, but I just felt the grip under me to go push for that. Like, through Eau Rouge, I kept it flat and I was like sideways behind Danny, like almost lost it. And I just pushed as hard as I could. Like, I stuck my nose a bit going into the next chicane. That kind of got him offline, and it just gave me enough space to send an absolute like DTM move onto Danny into the hairpin. And that pretty much like sealed the deal at that point. I just started extending. And as I said, like he got unfortunate incidents. He didn't have as much prep as me, so yeah, like at the end we got it. Unfortunate that I didn't get the win. I was really trying to push for that, but once I saw like that probably I went a bit in the wrong direction setup wise. It was a little too optimized for quali and not enough for the race. I just didn't want to fight George too hard, not to risk a potential DNF. So yeah, we're gonna see like what we can do setup wise for the next races, Sebring, like in the playoffs. It's just enjoyable to be here again, like talking about championship win.
And that's not to mention, I believe you should have the team standings there. So Spirit Racing looking to be taking home another team championship. I'll leave the floor to you for a moment. Any shout outs you'd like to make after this third championship in CMRC?
Yeah, I mean, the personal championship, of course, feels amazing and stuff, but I'm so glad that, like, with Lacey, we managed to pull together as many points as we did, and secure also, like, the team championship. Like, I'm so happy now for Spirit Racing that we got to get another championship, you know? Like, at the end of the day, Daniel Santos will also be happy for that because we're all Spirit Racing, Ahmed as well, Lacey, Maximilian. So it's not just for me, it's all their work, all the effort, the help that we all got practicing together. Thank you everyone back at the factory in Spirit Racing, you know, like helping us and always supporting us. I want to thank my friends in our little group chat, Redline, Seb, Shiro, Shui. Yeah, that will be it.
Go celebrate it. A wonderful championship. You have a long 3 weeks to think about how you're going to go down with that one when it comes to the final series and ultimately the race of champions. And we both know the hype that it could bring when we get to the playoffs of a CMRC series. Go enjoy that one. Another championship for you. Congratulations, Eamon. A big result. A big result for you.
Right. Thank you.
On the podium, third position. We haven't talked to this man in quite a while. We now get to the man in the Corvette, Ahmed. Please join me up here on stage. Brother, third position, a fantastic effort here. A bit of no man's land coming towards the end of that race, but nonetheless, though, it's very happy to see you. Welcome back, and a great result to show up back in third.
Yeah, that was really, really empty for me. Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad I had the resolve to finish the race. Yeah, it was really boring, but at least I got some practice under my belt. Haven't driven these cars in so long, and the driving technique is so weird. And this car as well is so terrible. Can't wait to get out of it. I'm looking forward to the next races.
I hope you do love, if you do the next championship that's coming up, not the final series.
Oh, yeah.
I think you might love it. I mean, hopefully, if you want something in a little bit different taste, I'm not going to give out too many hints. But nonetheless, though, let's switch gears. Let's just talk about that start of the race, because that's where all the hype was at, and probably the most fun of this race. Take us through that early goings of that one.
Yeah, that was difficult. I mean, the first few laps, the rear tires especially weren't up to pressure. I was sliding around everywhere. Braking was also really difficult. I mean, it always is in the Corvette, but especially those opening few laps, it felt like I just couldn't get it stopped. So I tried making some moves. I think I got someone. It might have been George at some point, maybe. Something like that. But yeah, it was just about surviving, really. Starting into the night as well. Didn't have much grip, but yeah, just tried to keep it clean.
Keep it clean. Indeed, you did. I hope to see you for the... is it possible we may be seeing you for these finals races? Is there a potential chance we can see what you can do for the Corvette?
Do I have to drive the Corvette?
Points are going to be reset from this point, so technically, we could talk about it. If you haven't saw cars,
well,
I think
I'll
that
be
might be a
switching out
chance.
that and yeah.
We'll see how that one turns out there. But nonetheless, though, congratulations. I don't know about playoff standings right now, but we'll see how that one looks down the line when those are posted, if you are in it or not. But hey, still solid effort there. Congratulations for finishing up there, P3.
Thanks.
I'm going to tease the silver class drivers just for a moment. And we're going to go talk to our bronze category. I'm trying to find them right now. Do we have our potential bronze winners? Looking down the order for them. Morales, I believe you are our race winner in the bronze standings. Congratulations, a huge victory for you. A very chaotic one, especially the midfield there. But hey, victory is victory nonetheless in class. How was that one for you?
I mean, it feels great. I mean, my first win in CMRSC. I got a little lucky at the end with Yago spinning out, and he was catching up like a second every lap. He was gonna catch up, but then he spun out at the end. It was unlucky, but I'll take the win. But yeah, it was a good race. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I mean, yeah, one of the first times you're here with us for the endurance category as well. So not too much info we can get from you, but it still looked like you had a solid race out there. Yeah, no doubt. That pace that we saw from Thiago was crazy, but you managed to hold off from it for the very end. Take us through the start phase. It was a chaotic one to say the least from watching your side.
Okay, well, on the start, I just saw Maximilian spin in front of me. I thought I was gonna crash. I thought I was done. But no, I somehow made it through, and then I saw another BMW spin in front of me. I don't remember who that was. But yeah, I made it through. I gained, I think it was 2 positions, so I went from P4 to P2, and then from there, I just had a better strategy than Thiago, and I got the win.
Absolute fantastic effort. It's definitely a long one, but with now a bit of shorter races, it's going to be 2 40-minute races, we believe. So split 90 in half. First of all, will we potentially be seeing you join us as we head through to Sebring next week?
Yeah, I hope to get more victories in the bronze class. Hopefully move to silver with some of my other teammates. But yeah, I'll come back for Sebring for sure.
Can't wait to see what you can do. Congratulations for a solid result there.
Thank you.
From our driver who finishes P1 there, we switch right to the champion. And a championship, a second championship for a man who hasn't won one in quite a while. We talked to him last week because he was the race winner at Le Mans. Today, a second title goes to one Danny Nasseir. Danny, I've invited you up here to join me. I hope I didn't startle you there. There we go. Championship in the bronze category. You came in with a 21-point lead, and with everything going on around you, with all the retirements, you were able to have enough positions between yourself and Thiago to claim a championship. This is your second championship since 2023 with IMSA in the prototype category. But how was that race for you? A little bit of static on your end.
Can you hear me better?
No. Could you maybe go on your phone potentially? Give it a moment there.
Give me a second.
No. Oh, okay. It's just rejoining probably. Yeah, static, very staticky there. Let's see if we can get him in. And then we'll go straight into the silver where I believe we do have a champion here. Should be roughly confirmed with us. We're going to get through bronze first if we can get Danny back in here. Just gonna wait for him. In the meantime, gives me more time to double check. Are we good to go? Excuse me, are we good to go with the silver category? Because I think I'm looking at a champion right here, and oh boy, it's an interesting one to talk about. Okay, I'll invite you up right back now. So see if that works. You muted?
Can you hear me?
Yes, a lot better.
All right. So I was saying a bit of mixed bag there. Tires are going off quickly in this car, and the pit lane is so long that to go and do tires, and I can see most people complaining that it was really off. So my only thought was keep Tiago in sight and make sure I'm 2, 3, 4 positions tops behind you, if not closer or ahead of him. And that was my goal, basically, to just keep him in sight. Once I could achieve that, I realized I was okay. There were some times in the bus stop when the tires were dead, the back just couldn't stay, and I kept cutting there, and then I went to 7 cuts. So I started doing some really slow laps just to bring it home. I figured once I'm in position, I don't get anybody past me, I'll be fine. And that was basically the game plan, and I guess it paid off.
Paid off very well, and championship is yours, and you make it onto the playoffs here. I think we'll talk about playoffs from an admin point of view, what goes down there for you nonetheless, but championship is still a championship nonetheless in the bronze category. And what would you say was the difference maker between yourself and the others in this category?
I think consistency. I mean, every car and every track does not always go well together. You can't marry them up and have the perfect union. So you're gonna have some tracks the cars go better on it, and some tracks they don't. And I think as a community as a whole, we got to wrap that around our head first and foremost, and that's what I did. I just figured, okay, I'll go better on this track, and the other tracks maybe not so much. And this is from a perspective of not being alien, right? This is just from an average driver perspective, but it's just consistency. I mean, I remember as a young man watching IndyCar racing and watching Bobby Rahal doing this kind of stuff with, he's a top-notch driver right up there, but I've seen him won championship with not the most wins, just consistency. There's guys in championship years who had more wins than him, and he still came out as champion. So, you look at consistency, and that's pretty much the key here. You don't have to win everything. You don't have to be the fastest. You don't have to be in front of the first corner, and you don't have to be in front on every lap. I've seen races where guys the only lap they led is the last lap. Look at races like Indy 500, look at races like NASCAR and stuff. So, I think that's the key for racing, and that's just basically, being around the block a little bit longer than most of the guys here.
And nonetheless, though, consistency paid off well, and you earn yourself a second championship. A lovely result. A shame that, especially early on in the race, looked like you had a bit of contact, so it was a bit of a slow one for you to get to the very end, but hopefully it was a slow one that was worth it by the very end of it.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So sometimes you look around, and I remember Cody coming through the field in F4, and he's going like, I'm just looking at what is happening ahead. I know an accident is going to be there, so I'll just wait around and just then go ahead. And I knew an accident was coming. I can see it big time. I got out of the way for one of the drivers to pass me, and I knew there was an accident in front of me. But unfortunately, one of the guys came across the track in front of me. But I was hoping I was just going to go by both of them. Whether I was going to be able to keep them behind me, that's a whole different story. We'll never know. But I knew an accident was coming. You can see it just driving behind them. And I remember Cody saying, yeah, just be patient. Just you know something is going to happen and you'll get it. But unfortunately, I was part of it. And that kind of put me back quite a bit. But again, the goal here was not to be at the top of the field. The goal here was to be as close as in points to Tiago. And that's basically the game. And we're good. We're good. But I do appreciate, all the guys who are out here from an admin perspective and joining us and being here with us week in, week out. A big thank you to all you guys for coming out. This endurance ones was a little bit of a a long championship, but you stuck it out with us. So, we do appreciate it on behalf of CMRSC. Thank you for that. And, thank you for being in here, and, I'll take the championship.
Great way to put it there. Congratulations. Championship number 2 for you. And another one for the history books. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Now we come down to it. Time to open up those ears closely if you're in the silver category. Let's talk about it. Well, we ran the calculations, and this is still going to be unofficial because nothing is looked at. Penalties are not looked at. The only thing that was added was the time penalties of cut tracks. Did not make a difference, so I'll say that right there and then. In terms of the championship standings, I think I'll just say it right away. In third position, we go to Nixon with 56 points. A solid effort from Nixon. Congratulations. In first position, or should I say tied for first position, Casper and Evan tied at 59 points. However, the big however is this point here. Evan did join the race a little bit later into it. He completed a total of 28 laps, while the lead pack did 42. Despite that, that is over 68% complete. So for now, we look at it as full points for him. Now, this is where it becomes interesting here. Because of the tie points, 59 and 59, we go to the CMRSC rulebook into section 3.5.13. In an event of a championship points tie between drivers or teams at the end of a season, the champion will be determined by the number of first places, the number of second places. And ladies and gentlemen, from the first places alone, with a race victory at the Nürburgring, it's enough to tip the scales slightly to give a first championship to one Casper. Victory here is yours. Tied on points, and you win with the tiebreaker. You've got it done. You got the championship done, and you are our silver class title winner. How does that feel?
It feels amazing. I did hope to have an actual, if Evan actually was able to get back on time, I wish we actually could have a fight. Other than that, it feels amazing. Le Mans wasn't really my best showing, so I hoped I could claw back here, and the opening stint wasn't really that good, at least the first few laps. Once the field spread out, I had more room to work around with. And seeing Oleg in the wall was a bit of a sad sight, but it is what it is. Whatever happened, happened, so yeah.
Well, you look at that race, that was absolutely incredible. Our eyes were glued to the screens at the early goings, that 4-car battle, and you were right in the middle of it. Take us through what you were thinking in those moments.
I mean, as soon as I saw Oleg, when we were battling in the start, I did notice that the 911 had way more top end power than me, which basically allowed Oleg to escape from me on the straights. Other than that, I figured that I could just take my time when him and Kaimani were caught up in a fight with Gabriel, which ended up in, after the fight, I was just checking my mirror where's Oleg, because I knew that the Porsche has better top end than the Mercedes. But the moment I saw him in the wall, I let out a sigh of relief, and I figured I was just trying to not do any mistakes, just bring it to the line safely without a penalty.
And he did so. And I gotta say, how poetic is that we flash back to the first week of this year, the first race in Dubai. You grab your first podium. We flash all the way down later as we head into this month. And on June 27th, at least my time here, you take yourself the silver championship. How does that feel, honestly, from thinking about where you started this year to where you've ended up right now?
Well, considering where I started, like, overall, when I first joined back in, like, 2025 it was, I think. Yeah, I can tell I went a long way ahead. Especially the main highlight was Dubai, like you said. And probably this race today, but yeah, I'm pretty happy where I am right now. And even if I am moved to gold, I don't really care about it.
I'll tell you one thing. You have successfully got yourself in firmly to the playoffs. So you're in that special category of drivers who's going to be going for big prizes here. That's got to feel like an extra bit of reward for you.
Yeah, it does. All I can say is that also during the pit stop, changing the brakes did help out a lot, since the car wasn't really stopping like I wanted it to, and yeah.
Solid effort, solid result, and a first championship going to you in CMRC, and hopefully the first of many. Congratulations on an incredible result.
Thank you.
That's going to do it there. Next week, it's the beginning of the playoffs. We head over to Sebring for the July the 4th US special for that one. Can't wait to see you there. Things are going to be changing up here just slightly, but it's going to be essentially the same formula. There's going to be a lot more news that's going to come out for this one. And keep a close eye, especially by the end of that race, you're going to see officially what Project National Multiclass is all about. So I hope we see you for the beginning of the playoffs. And for our rest of the drivers, we will confirm the final playoff spots for you, and we'll move from there. So what an incredible championship. We ended off here 11, 12 weeks, I believe. 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks now of GT3 racing. 12 weeks if you want to count the finale of Race of Champions. It's been a long one. It's been what CMRC kind of went towards, more GT3 racing for this year, but hopefully you enjoyed it nonetheless. It still gave you some great battles despite of what you thought about maybe the machine you were controlling under you. And we hope we can make it up to you with what PNM is going to be all about, because I think it's pretty fun. Regardless, we're going to end it off here. We're going to start up the server. We're going to get Sebring underway, and we're going to get the finals getting ready to go here. Thank you for, again, all the support, as Danny said, for all the support through these incredible weeks of GT3. We're almost done, and then we'll head into something a lot more fresh, and we'll talk about it by that point. That's going to do it here. Thank you so much for tuning in to the finale of the Endurance Cup. Eamon Nasseir, a 3-time CMRSC champion. Danny Nasseir, a 2-time CMRSC champion. And Kasper Tessiaki, a 1-time, his first inaugural championship in the league. Thank you so much. And with Kraus also taking race victory, is this the start of history that is going to be made for the future months of the league? Well, you're going to have to wait and find out as you stick with us. Same time, same place, right here on Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club.